Let there be flight! Hello folks, I'm Takovach, and welcome to another showcase of vehicles in instruments of destruction. Today we're going to be focusing on flying machines. Now flying is one of the harder things to do in the game. I'm going to be featuring builds from both before and after the balloon update came out, and these are some of the best that I have seen. We're going to start with the Controllable Flying Bomber by L. This was uploaded on the very first day of Steam Workshop availability and has a very ingenious method of steering and getting to where it needs to go. So to control this, the first thing you do is press E, turns on the thrusters. You use your up and down keys to adjust your thrust. This kind of sets your altitude. So like if you're going full up, then you're going up high in the sky, but if you're going to the side, you'll go down a bit lower. Then this is where the ingenious part of this craft comes in. If you use W, A, S and D, each of these will put out one of the weights, and that will cause the craft to tilt, causing more thrust, and delivering you over a building. Maybe, depending on how you're going. From there, you can press R to drop from the quad guns on the bottom. And suddenly we have one less building on this island. Because it has got such an ingenious system and it stays upright, we can actually happily land this. Now this is quite impressive for the before balloons builds, because this was just not really possible beforehand. And I have completely messed up that landing. Well, this was the Controllable Flying Bomber, and it was controllable. Until now. Next up, we have the UFO. This, again, was made before the balloon update. This is less destructive, doesn't have any weaponry on it. But if you're careful with what you're doing, and you don't let it touch the ground, this is absolutely fantastic at what it does. We have full control, like on rotation. Forward, back, left, right. Again, if you don't get anywhere near, well, looks like we're tilting now. But this is a lot more controllable than most of the other flying machines I've seen. Though I am currently travelling far, far away from where I want to be. Okay, let's head back. Finally got it, folks. Finally got it. Basically, I'm travelling at speed, and we managed to get ourselves back to the island. And it appears that we're in the sea one more time. That's absolutely fantastic. The UFO by OliMP. So here we have another well-designed craft made by Soul Reaper NL. This has its issues, and this is one of the indicative things of all of the times before the balloons. It uses the same lift mechanism as the Controllable Flying Bomber, but we'll see here why it's so hard to make something that works. If you ever get yourself off kilter, it's very hard to get back on kilter again, which makes for some interesting times, especially when you suddenly have to try and do things like this. So this craft does have some destructive capability. It is with the magnets. So much thrust on a tiny amount of difference. Makes it very, very hard to really get some fine control. When we get to balloons, you're going to see a world of difference. why they're such a good addition to this game. So let's see if we can actually get down to this building. I want to not crash into it. At least not until now. That'll do. We gave it a little bit of a punch. Yeah. Like I said, this flight in this game until balloons is so difficult. But, you know, I kind of enjoy making a Catherine wheel. So our final flying machine of the pre-balloon meta is the stable Quad Copter by thatdomguy. This kind of goes and works with what I generally expect with most of these vehicles these days. They tend to work quite a lot with rotation. Like, rotating parts seem to stabilize vehicles. Now this doesn't go very high. We've got a boost button on E, and we rotate on the arrow keys, one of which turns on some thrusters, and that gets us in the air. And then we can use basic W, A, S, and D controls. This actually has the easiest destruction of all the vehicles I tried from the pre-balloons. And it really does have a good sense of movement, ability to cause epic destruction. But it still has its quirks that make it hard to completely keep on the straight and narrow. But we do get some of that absolute destruction that we love with this game. And like all the others, it's in the sea. On to the best designed flying machine that exists on the workshop today. It's the Gyro Airship by CamperTY. Camper has been featured on this a couple of times before, and the design capabilities have not gone down. The machines they make are incredible. So this is a gyro airship, and it does what it says. Those reaction wheels that you can see, they allow for it to keep itself righted. We're going to use G to turn on the downward thrusters and inflate some balloons, and we're going to go up in the air. This is a good start. We will have some leveling, and then we'll get going. But this is self-righting. If you, for example, were to accidentally put it on the ground, press G, those balloons will flip it upright, and it'll, like I say, it will take a little while to get itself sorted, but it will. As you can see, it's wobbling around a little bit, but we're going to get to a point where we can absolutely sit this nicely. As you can see, like, I'm having no issues with actually controlling this. It's floaty, as you'd expect a plane or flying vehicle to be. And Camper's handily also brought along some bombs for some strafing runs. This is the Apache 201 by James 9002 UK. We have a spinning rotor on the top. Now, as I said, spinning things tend to make things fly reasonably well. By why, I'm not sure. So this is a pretty nice flying copter. Has some really nice features. We have a turret on the front, controlled by X and C for its orientation. We have Q to give some additional lift when required. You can see that balloon at the back. There's probably one in the front as well, just to enable it to fly. Use W to go forwards. And so this flies reasonably well as a helicopter. Like, sure, it's using balloons. The balloons are very much the reason why these things fly in the first place. The game doesn't actually have any, like, aerodynamic parts to it. Oh, you're just taking out just the very top of that tower there. This is a very well designed craft, very controllable. Even allowing me to destroy that building quite nicely. And really nicely, I think I might actually be able to set this down. Look at that, an actual landing. Not in the sea. This absolute beast is the Warship and Platform by Jenkins. This has to be seen to be believed. We have a moving base, which is controlled by the arrow keys. But that releases this warship, which has rotating thrusters, which I believe are supposed to have, well, are supposed to fire if you go backwards as well, but one of the functions that we need at the moment is additional control axes. One of the problems that Jenkins has had, from what I've heard, is issues with balancing the lift. But as you can see, we're managing to get a pretty good aim on these towers in this building. We've got an extra thruster on T for an afterburner. I think that building's still come down now, just about. We almost landed it there. But what I'd like to do really is to just head over to the platform and place it down nicely. Let's see if we can. Probably gonna fail on this, probably. Actually, what we can probably do is just hold ourselves a little bit steady, like so. Press G to drop the bombs, unfortunately, it's not what we really intended. I am just flying the, controlling the platform now. Use Q to drop it down, and almost perfect. I'm not unhappy with that. And that brings us to the end of this showcase. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, hit the subscribe button to get notified when I release new content. Make sure you check out the custom thumbnail tutorial, which will allow you to have much better impact on the scene workshop, and to check out any of the creations. They'll all be linked in the description. Hope to see you soon.